Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Ways to Learn English. I'm Alex,
And I'm Maya.
and today we're talking about something that sounds practical, but honestly feels emotional.
Very emotional,
Yes, because today we're talking about how to manage your time.
which sounds like one of those topics that should be simple, and somehow never is.
Exactly, because on paper, time management sounds so clean. Make a list, set a schedule, wake up early, use a calendar, drink water, and become a powerful, organized person.
That last part always sounds suspicious.
Very suspicious. Because in real life, time is not just about hours. It's about energy, attention, mood, interruptions, unexpected messages, tiny tasks with huge attitudes.
That is painfully true. Some small tasks act like they own the whole day.
Exactly. And I think this topic matters because so many people say the same thing now. I'm busy. I'm behind. I don't have enough time. I was doing things all day, but I still feel like nothing is finished.
Yes, that last feeling is horrible.
It really is. And what's strange is that modern life is supposed to be easier.
Right, we have apps, reminders, calendars, delivery services, online payments, machines for almost everything.
Exactly. We have more tools than ever, more speed than ever, more convenience than ever, and yet a lot of people still feel rushed, mentally crowded, and weirdly behind all the time.
I think mentally crowded is the perfect phrase.
Yes, because that's often the real feeling, not just busy, crowded.
Too many tabs open in the mind.
Exactly. Too many little demands, too many unfinished things, too many tiny decisions all day long.
And some of them are so small they almost feel stupid. But together they become exhausting.
Yes, reply to this, pay that, book that, check that, remember this, follow up on that. And suddenly your brain feels like it joined 3 meetings and a family group chat before breakfast.
A terrible way to begin existing,
An extremely modern way, though.
unfortunately.
So today, we don't want to talk about time management in a cold, robotic way.
Good.
We're not doing, here are 7 productivity hacks, become a machine.
Thank you.
We're talking about how to manage your time in a way that feels more human, more sustainable, more realistic, more useful on an ordinary, messy Tuesday.
That already sounds better.
Good. Because real life is the test, not the fantasy version of yourself with perfect focus, perfect sleep, and a personality made entirely of checklists.
That person is not available today.
No. So here's what we're going to do. We'll look at several big truths about time. Not just how to fit more in, but how to lose less of yourself inside the day.
That is a very good line.
Thank you. I borrowed it from the part of me that gets tired around 4 p.m.
A wise part of you.
Very wise. And then, near the end, we'll slow down and look at some useful vocabulary and expressions so listeners can take both the ideas and the English with them.
Perfect.
So let's start with a thought that might sound dramatic, but I think it's true.
Go on.
I don't think the day starts in the morning.
You always say things like that with a face that suggests you've had too much coffee.
And yet I'm still right.
Convince me.
I think the day often starts the night before.
Okay. Yes, that's actually true.
Because so many people wake up and blame the morning. I had a bad start. I was tired. I couldn't focus. I felt rushed from the beginning.
But the damage was already happening the night before.
Exactly. If the night ended too late, too noisy, too restless, too full of one more episode, one more scroll, one more task, one more worry, then the next day often begins already carrying that weight.
Yes, sometimes the body goes to bed, but the mind absolutely does not.
Exactly. And then people wake up and say, I need a better morning routine.
When maybe what they really need is a kinder ending to the day.
Yes, a calmer landing.
That's a really useful way to think about it.
Because time management is not only about what you do when the day begins, it's also about how you close the day.
So what does that look like in real life?
Nothing dramatic, honestly. Maybe it means not ending the night with mental chaos. Maybe it means not starting a difficult task too late. Maybe it means turning off the noise a little earlier. Maybe it means not filling the last 30 minutes of the day with random input that leaves your mind buzzing.
That word matters too, input.
Very much. Because a lot of tiredness doesn't come from hard work. It comes from too much useless input.
Yes. Too many updates, too many opinions, too many things entering your head and leaving a mess behind.
Exactly. And the problem is not only time, it's attention.
Which people waste very casually now.
Yes, they squander it.
There's one of our useful words already.
Exactly. To squander something means to waste something valuable in a careless way. And attention is valuable. Peace is valuable. Clear thinking is valuable.
But people rarely lose those things all at once.
Right. Usually they lose them little by little. One pointless check. One random scroll. One unimportant interruption. Then another. Then another. And suddenly their mind feels like a room. After a party, nobody cleaned up.
Very loud, very messy, very difficult to think inside.
Exactly. So maybe the first takeaway is this. If you want a calmer day, protect the end of the previous one.
That's strong.
Because a better tomorrow often begins with a gentler tonight.
And once the mind is too crowded, even very small things start feeling heavier than they really are.
Yes. Which brings us to the next problem. Unfinished, tiny tasks.
The little monsters.
Exactly. Sometimes the biggest stress in a day is not one huge problem. It's 5 tiny, unfinished things.
A message, a payment, a form, a call, an email, a booking.
Yes. Small tasks. Huge emotional presence.
Why is that so real?
Because unfinished things stay open in the mind. And people often let them slide.
Another useful phrase.
Yes. To let something slide means to ignore it or allow it to be neglected.
At first, it sounds harmless.
Exactly. I'll do it later. But then later becomes tomorrow. Tomorrow becomes 3 days. And suddenly the task is still tiny, but now it feels strangely important.
Like it gained status in your head.
Exactly. You delayed one email, and now emotionally it feels like you're writing to a king.
Why do small tasks become royal in the mind?
I don't know. But they absolutely do.
So what's the practical lesson here?
Sometimes peace does not come from finishing everything. Sometimes it comes from closing one small open loop before it starts following you around all day.
That's very practical.
And very real. Because if you spend the day carrying 6 tiny unfinished things, the weight becomes larger than the tasks deserve.
So this is not do more. It's more like clear one small source of noise.
Exactly. Not become superhuman. Just stop carrying one avoidable thing.
I like that because it feels kind.
It should. This whole topic should feel kinder than most time management advice.
Good. Because a lot of time advice sounds like it secretly hates people.
Yes. It often sounds like, why aren't you performing better, human? Adjust immediately.
Not comforting.
Not remotely.
Okay, but I want the real life version here. What does this look like in an ordinary day?
Good. Let's do a quick real-life scene. How's your day going?
Honestly, weirdly stressful.
Big problem? Or tiny annoying problem pretending to be a big problem?
The second one,
Classic. What is it?
I still haven't replied to one email.
One email?
Yes, one.
And your mind has turned it into a historical event.
Exactly.
That's very common.
See, this is why I needed the real version, not the impressive version.
And the real version is often this. Do the tiny thing before it becomes emotional furniture.
Emotional furniture?
Yes. Something ugly, heavy, and always in the way.
That is extremely accurate.
Thank you. Next is something people hate hearing, but desperately need.
I'm listening with concern.
Rest matters more than many people admit.
Yes.
Because a lot of people still act like non-stop effort is a sign of seriousness.
As if being exhausted proves you're doing life correctly.
Exactly. And yes, life can be demanding. Sometimes you really do need to work hard. But if you never pause, your body usually chooses the pause for you.
That is extremely true.
Through headaches, brain fog, irritability, exhaustion. That strange feeling where even a simple question feels aggressive.
Yes, somebody asks, "What do you want for dinner?" and your tired brain reacts like they've given you an impossible exam.
Exactly. That is not a dinner problem. That is an energy problem.
And people often ignore that for too long.
Yes. They wear themselves out.
Useful phrase number 3.
Right. To wear yourself out means to make yourself too tired through too much effort or stress.
And a lot of people do that by trying to be productive every second.
Exactly. They don't rest because they think rest is a reward, something they earn later.
When really rest is part of what keeps the day usable.
Exactly. Breaks do not ruin a good day, they protect it.
That should be on a wall somewhere.
In a nice cafe, ideally.
Naturally.
So the takeaway here is simple. Do not wait until your body is shouting.
Small pauses now, or collapse later.
Exactly. And one of those options has much better branding.
Definitely the first one.
Strong opinion, but I support it.
Can I ask the practical question?
Please.
What counts as a real break? Because a lot of people say they're taking breaks, but the break is just another kind of noise.
Excellent question. A real break is something that gives energy back instead of just filling space.
Examples?
A short walk, stretching, quiet, looking outside, making tea without checking your phone 17 times. A few minutes of doing less, not more.
That's important because some breaks are not breaks. They're just a different form of overload.
Exactly. A noisy break can still leave the mind crowded.
So again, this is about quality, not just quantity.
Yes. Which leads us into another truth people resist. Free time is not always usable time.
That line hurts.
Because it's true. One free hour means very little if you're too drained to think, focus, or feel alive inside it.
And that's where time advice often becomes unfair.
Exactly. Because people say you have time. But the real question is, do you have energy?
That's a much more honest question.
It is. Because time and energy are not the same thing. A schedule can look good on paper and still fail in real life because it's out of sync with the person living it.
Another useful phrase.
Yes. If something is out of sync, it is not working in harmony or rhythm with something else.
So a plan can be out of sync with your actual mind and body.
Exactly. The plan says, this is your free hour. But your body says, I am tired, hungry, and only emotionally available for staring at a wall.
A very different message.
Very different. And then people blame themselves. Why am I being lazy?
When maybe they're not lazy. Maybe they're empty.
Exactly. That distinction matters.
A lot.
Because shame is not useful here. Honesty is useful. Maybe you do need more structure. But maybe you also need more sleep, better boundaries, less noise, fewer pointless tasks, or a schedule that respects when your brain actually works best.
That part feels huge.
It is huge. Not every hour has the same value.
Yes. Some hours are sharp and alive. Some hours feel like your brain arrived wearing slippers.
Exactly. And yet people often give their best hour to the weakest task.
That is such a waste.
Yes. Which is why reclaim matters here.
Define it.
To reclaim something means to take it back after losing it.
So in this context, it means taking back your best attention.
Exactly. Reclaiming your clearest hour from weak priorities. Reclaiming your best energy from random demands. Reclaiming a piece of your day from things that shouldn't own it.
That feels powerful.
It is. Because sometimes better time management is not about adding anything. It's about taking something back.
Can you make that more practical?
Yes. Here's the simple version. Don't spend your clearest hour on your least important task.
That's one of those lines people need to hear twice.
Good. Then here it is again. Don't spend your clearest hour on your least important task.
Much better the second time, too.
Exactly. Because if your best mental energy goes to crumbs, you'll have nothing strong left for what actually matters.
So how does someone find their best hour?
By paying attention for a week. Not in an obsessive way, just notice. When do I think most clearly? When does writing feel easier? When does my attention feel strongest? When do I solve problems faster?
That makes sense.
Some people are sharper in the morning. Some are better later. But most people do have certain hours that feel better than others.
And the goal is to protect those hours.
Yes. Protect them for real work, real thinking, real priorities.
Not weak tasks, not random errands, not every polite interruption.
Exactly. Which brings us to the next thief of time. Unnecessary yeses.
That's a painful one.
Yes. Because time is not always stolen dramatically. Sometimes it is stolen very politely.
A quick favor, a small request, a tiny thing that won't take long.
Exactly. And then suddenly your day has been eaten from the edges.
That phrase is awful and perfect.
Thank you. Because that's how it feels. Not destroyed, just quietly eaten.
And some people say yes because they want to be kind.
True. And some say yes because they want to be liked. And some say yes because busyness makes them feel important.
That's deeper.
Yes. Sometimes people cling to busyness.
Another useful phrase.
Right. To cling to something means to hold on to it too tightly.
So some people cling to being busy because it feels like proof.
Exactly. Proof that they matter. Proof that they are needed. Proof that they are doing enough.
And that's dangerous because then saying no starts to feel guilty.
Exactly. But every unnecessary yes can become a quiet no to your own peace, your own focus, your own life.
So boundaries are not cold?
They're protective.
That's important.
Very. Because some people still hear boundaries and imagine becoming rude or distant.
When often it just means not handing out pieces of your day like free samples.
Exactly. A beautifully practical description.
Thank you.
So the takeaway here is, not every request deserves your best energy. Not every favor belongs in today. And saying no early is often kinder than saying yes resentfully.
That is a very adult sentence.
A deeply annoying part of adulthood, yes.
Can we do a small real-life scene for this too?
Absolutely.
Can I ask you something?
Dangerous start. Go on.
What if someone asks for a small favor, and I already know I don't really have the time?
Then the answer is not yes, just because the request sounds polite.
So what do people say?
Something simple. Not today, sorry. I can't this afternoon. I'm a bit full today. Not this time.
That sounds much more normal than the dramatic speeches people create in their head.
Exactly. You do not need a courtroom defense. Just a clear answer.
That's actually a huge relief.
Because many time problems come from over-explaining.
Yes, and over-explaining is exhausting too.
Absolutely.
Okay, what's next?
Something softer, but maybe even more important. Slowness.
That sounds nice already.
It does. Because time doesn't only disappear through work. Sometimes it disappears through speed.
Yes, when life moves too fast, the days don't just pass, they blur.
Exactly. Breakfast becomes background. Walks become rushing. Rest becomes another task. Even enjoyable things start feeling scheduled instead of lived.
And then people say this week vanished.
Yes. But often the week did not vanish. It was barely felt.
That's such a strong point.
Because speed steals detail. And detail is where life is actually felt.
That's beautiful.
Thank you. Sometimes I am accidentally useful and beautiful.
Rare but moving.
Fair.
So what do we do with that?
We carve out time.
Define it.
To carve out time means to deliberately create time for something.
So not waiting for perfect free time to appear.
Exactly. You make space on purpose. For a quiet walk, a slow meal, a real conversation. 10 minutes with no noise, a cup of tea. Without multitasking like your life is a competition.
That sounds lovely.
It is. And those moments can look small, but they return you to your own life.
That line I really love.
Because it's true. Slowness is not wasting time. Sometimes, it is the only way to stop losing your life in pieces.
Can I ask the practical version again?
Of course. That's your whole job now.
Good. What if someone says, I don't have time to slow down?
Then I'd say this. You probably don't need a whole perfect slow day. You need a few moments that are actually felt.
So this is not all or nothing.
Exactly. It's rarely all or nothing. Maybe it's 5 minutes without input. Maybe it's one meal eaten more slowly. Maybe it's one evening that ends more gently. Maybe it's one walk without checking your phone.
That makes it much more realistic.
Good. Because realism is the whole point here.
I think this is what I like about the topic. It stops being about becoming better at life and starts being about living it more consciously.
Exactly. That's the deeper truth. This is not really about becoming more efficient. It's about becoming more conscious.
Meaning?
Meaning, where is my time going? What is draining me? What is noise? What is useful? What actually matters? What helps me feel present? What leaves me feeling crowded?
So instead of squeezing more into the day, we're trying to lose less of ourselves inside it.
Exactly.
That might be the real heart of the episode.
I think it is.
Because a lot of people hear time management and immediately feel pressure.
Yes. Pressure to become perfect. Pressure to become organized in a very shiny, unrealistic way. Pressure to wake up at 5 a.m. with flawless skin and a moral victory already completed.
A suspicious type of person.
Deeply suspicious.
So what's the healthier version?
The healthier version is this. The best routine is not the most impressive one. It is the one you can sustain.
There's another key word.
Exactly. To sustain something means to continue it over time.
So the goal is not a dramatic routine that lasts 3 days.
Exactly. The goal is a routine that still works on an ordinary, messy, tired Tuesday.
That phrase should stay in people's heads.
I hope so. Because real life is the test, not fantasy life. Not the one with perfect motivation and no interruptions.
So maybe the final big idea is build a life you can actually continue.
Yes, a life you can live, not perform.
That's beautiful too.
Thank you. I'm really on a streak.
Let's not get carried away.
Cruel, but stabilizing.
You're welcome.
So before we move into vocabulary, let's do a quick practical section.
Good. I want the real version now.
Naturally.
If somebody listening feels overwhelmed by this whole topic, where should they start?
Start small. Choose one source of noise. Not 10. One.
Examples?
One unfinished task. One late-night habit. One weak hour you want to reclaim. One unnecessary yes you can stop giving. One small pocket of slowness you can carve out.
That's much better than trying to redesign your whole life in one evening.
Exactly. That kind of plan usually becomes another source of stress.
What if someone says, I know all this, but I still don't do it?
Then I'd say, don't ask for a better personality. Ask for a smaller next step.
That is such a practical answer.
Because people often fail by making the change too large, too dramatic, too ideal.
What if I'm the kind of person who wastes time because I feel mentally tired and then I just drift?
Good. That's a very real question. To drift means to move without a clear direction.
Like when you move through the evening without deciding what you actually want to do.
Exactly. You're not choosing. You're just sliding from one thing to another.
And then suddenly an hour is gone.
Exactly. So if drifting is the problem, the fix is not harsh discipline. It's a tiny bit more intention.
Like what?
Maybe before the evening starts, you decide one thing. Rest, read, call someone, cook, go outside, clean one thing, watch one episode, and stop.
That's good because it gives the evening a shape.
Exactly. Not a prison, just a shape.
What if someone is trying to handle too many roles at once?
Then, they are probably juggling.
Another useful word.
Yes. To juggle means to manage many things at the same time.
Work, home, family, messages, errands, personal goals.
Exactly. And when you're juggling too much, the answer is often not be stronger. It's reduce one thing, delay one thing, or ask what truly matters today.
That's realistic.
Good. Because realism is our religion now.
A calm religion.
A very calm one.
Okay, I think this is the moment for the vocabulary section.
I agree. Because we use some really useful words today. And I want listeners to leave with language they can actually use, not just thoughts they vaguely admire and then forget.
A beautiful educational threat.
Thank you. Let's slow down and look at some of today's key words and phrases.
And because we already heard them in a real conversation, they should feel more alive now.
Exactly. That's always the goal. First, squander. To squander something means to waste something valuable in a careless way. Example: a lot of people squander their best attention on weak priorities.
Or, he didn't lose the whole evening dramatically. He squandered it little by little.
Exactly. Repeat. Squander.
Squander.
Next, let something slide. To let something slide means to ignore it or allow it to be neglected. Example: she let one small task slide, and then it stayed in her mind all week.
Or, when life gets busy, people often let tiny responsibilities slide.
Repeat. Let something slide.
Let something slide.
Next, wear yourself out. If you wear yourself out, you make yourself too tired through too much effort or stress. Example: a lot of people wear themselves out trying to be productive every second.
Or, if you never pause properly, you can wear yourself out without noticing.
Repeat. Wear yourself out.
Wear yourself out.
Next, out of sync. If something is out of sync, it is not working in harmony or rhythm with something else. Example: her schedule looked fine on paper, but it was completely out of sync with her real energy.
Or, sometimes your plan fails because it's out of sync with your actual life.
Repeat. Out of sync.
Out of sync.
Next, reclaim. To reclaim something means to take it back after losing it. Example: he reclaimed his best hour by stopping random interruptions in the morning.
Or, sometimes time management is really about reclaiming your attention.
Repeat. Reclaim.
Reclaim.
Next, cling to. To cling to something means to hold on to it too tightly. Example: some people cling to busyness because it makes them feel important.
Or, some people cling to old routines even when those routines are clearly making life harder.
Exactly. Repeat. Cling to.
Cling to.
Next, carve out time. To carve out time means to deliberately create time for something important. Example: she carves out time every evening to read quietly and slow down.
Or, if something really matters to you, you usually have to carve out time for it.
Exactly. Repeat. Carve out time.
Carve out time.
Next, sustain. To sustain something means to continue it over time. Example: the best routine is not the most impressive one. It is the one you can sustain.
Or, small healthy habits are easier to sustain than dramatic ones.
Exactly. Repeat. Sustain.
Sustain.
Next, drift. To drift means to move without a clear direction. Example: it is easy to drift through the evening when you are tired and distracted.
Or, without clear priorities, your mind can drift from one thing to another.
Exactly. repeat, drift,
Drift.
and one more useful word from today, juggle. To juggle means to manage many things at the same time. Example, a lot of people are juggling work, home, errands, and personal goals all at once.
Or she is juggling too many responsibilities and it is starting to exhaust her.
Exactly. Repeat, juggle.
Juggle.
Those were today's key words and phrases.
And they are not just good English words, they are very real life words.
Exactly. These are the kinds of words that help you talk about modern life in a deeper, clearer, and more natural way.
Which is always better than only knowing words like busy and tired and then having to use them for everything.
Yes, useful but limited. And once you learn a few more words like squander, reclaim, drift, or carve out time, your English becomes more expressive.
And your thoughts become easier to explain too.
Exactly. So if one or two of these words stayed with you today, that is enough. Try to use them this week in your own speaking or writing.
Maybe in a sentence about your own life.
Yes, that is the best way to make new English feel real, not through pressure, through small, real use, again and again.
And honestly, that matches today's whole topic.
It really does.
Because this episode was not really about becoming some perfect time management machine.
No, not at all.
It was more about protecting your attention, your energy, your peace, and your ability to actually feel your own life while you are living it.
Exactly. Because making the most of your time is not just about fitting more into the day.
It is also about losing less of yourself inside the day.
Yes. And I think that matters more than people admit.
Because a lot of people are not truly asking, how do I become more efficient? What they are really asking is, how do I stop feeling so scattered, so rushed, and so behind all the time?
Exactly. And the answer is usually not one dramatic life change.
It is one smaller, more honest shift.
Yes. Maybe it is ending tonight a little more gently. Maybe it is closing one tiny task before it becomes mental noise. Maybe it is protecting your best hour. Maybe it is saying no once. Maybe it is carving out 10 quiet minutes and actually letting them be quiet.
I really like that this episode feels practical, but also kind.
Good. Because kindness should be part of this topic. People already feel enough pressure around time.
Too much, honestly.
Yes. And pressure alone rarely creates a better life. Usually it just creates a more nervous one.
That is painfully true.
So if one idea stayed with you today, let that be enough.
One good idea is already useful.
Very useful. One small shift can change the feeling of a whole day.
And that is real progress.
Exactly.
So before we go, we would really love to hear from you.
Yes. What is one thing that quietly steals time from your life?
And what is one small change you want to make after listening today?
You can keep your answer simple, or share a little more if you want.
We always love reading your thoughts.
And if this episode helped you, please like the video, subscribe to the channel, and share it with someone who might need it too.
Because honestly, most people are trying to manage too much and feel okay at the same time.
A very modern struggle.
A very human one.
And that brings us to the end of today's episode. See you in the next episode, and feel free to listen to our earlier episodes too.